Welcome back, you guys. And today I have Laura Trujillo. She's an Interwork transformational coach, and she's here to share with us uh, information about attachment, uh, about the human, not the human anatomy, but the human soul or the heart, um, spirituality. Give us some information about positivity, and we're just gonna have a good time. So, welcome, Laura.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on this podcast episode. It really is an honor to be sharing this moment with you in this space. I'm excited. Um, let's see what needs to come out.
Definitely. So to get this podcast underway, how did you kind of get yourself involved in this kind of I would say hobby or profession?
Yes. So it started at the beginning of this year. I was actually in a 5-year relationship, and I do want to say my personal development journey, my spirituality journey did start about 4 years ago, but I truly believe it was more of a surface level. Like I was aware of it. I knew like, oh, my triggers and all of these things, but obviously awareness is the first step. And then being able to take action, which is the part that takes the courage, and for us to be able to actually heal is where I would kind of dabble my toes in and be like, yes, I'm changing a little bit, but I was still so, for the past 5 years, so attached to a specific identity that I used to be, that I needed someone else to feel like I was going to be fully happy and fulfilled, and that I needed this person to change for him to be the man that I needed for me to be truly happy. But ultimately, by me trying to change someone and put someone in the box, I ended up just pushing him away. And it's, like that magnet. I kept trying, but at the beginning of this year, we ended up splitting up. And when that happened, I kid you not, there was this moment I was all alone in the apartment. He ended up leaving, and I was sitting there completely alone. And for the first time in my life, I got down on my knees. And I always heard people praying to a higher source. And
Right.
I always had some sort of faith, but I can't say that I was constantly feeding into that faith. So then at that moment, I dropped down to my knees. I started to pray, and I knew there was this pivotal moment. I feel like I always hear people say there was this one moment that I remember where the change happened. And I remember being completely alone in that apartment, and there was this pivotal moment where I said, no more. I'm never ever going to pour or allow someone else to control my emotions in that way, because ultimately it was so unfair to that person, but I was being so unfair to myself by expecting so much, by expecting this other person to come and save me, by expecting him to completely change to fit in a box for me to feel safe and secure. So in that moment, I was kind of starting to learn about attachment theory, secure attachment, there's the avoidant attachment, and then there's the anxious attachment, or a little mix of avoidant and anxious. And I believe I was a little bit of both. Like I really wanted this person, but when I didn't get what I wanted, I would emotionally push him away. So it was a very draining process. And I always heard this quote saying that you can't heal in the same environment that broke you. And I generally believe that, for me in specific, I believe that if both individuals come to a neutral place where they drop from their head to their heart, it can happen. It 100% can, but I couldn't in that relationship. I couldn't. I kept being here in my head and allowing my ego to take on all of these triggers and behaviors that I was refusing to let him go. I'd be like, okay, I'm changing. I'm aware they're bad behaviors, but when it all came down to it, I wasn't. I was so attached to those behaviors. And then when it came, all of the life that I thought I needed to be happy started to crumble down. I said, I need to learn how to love myself and be there for me and have my back 100%, and not expect other people to come and save me, because ultimately those are just like band-aids to my wounds. When they're gone, when they leave, when they can't give me the exact attention that I need, I feel so low. And it was unfair to those individuals. It was unfair to me. So I started deep diving in attachment theory and how it is that I can start emotionally supporting myself. And I started to look for coaches. For the first time in my life, I invested in a life coach that could could guide me to places that I'd never been before. And that was really cool because I feel like, I wanted this intense change where I feel like I see so many of even people that I know that we want this intense change, yet we don't want to make that investment in ourselves. It's so easy to go invest in the shopping and in the food. And I was investing. I used to smoke a lot, and I was all the money that I was pouring. Yet when it came to possibly me thinking of investing in a therapist or investing in a coach, I was like, no, that's too much. That's too much. But then when I sat down and I was like, dude, I'm literally spending so much more even on these vices. So
It's so
that's where I
funny.
kind of ended up being here.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so funny that you mentioned that because I see these memes of I don't know if it's just our culture in general because I come from Puerto Rico, but
Oh, okay.
one day I saw this meme of oh you go to the grocery store with all this money thinking you're gonna buy all the food, yet you come up with a TV, you know? You
Yes.
forget about the basic needs, when you're
Yes.
going to, it's about providing for yourself. And in this instance, you weren't thinking about providing for yourself at the moment, except you were thinking about, something that was comfort to you.
Yes. Yes. 100%. I was so comfortable in the past 5 years of my life that I even continue. I had these big dreams, but because I was so attached, and now I see that attachment is not love. Holding someone hostage is not love. Love is
No,
being
no.
able to let someone go and be free as they
Mhm.
are. And that
Right.
was a hard realization I had to come to. But so much peace comes with just letting go and saying what's meant for me is meant for me. And all I can do is focus on myself and love myself. And I know that I will attract just that in return.
You, and that's incredible. The fact that you've gone through that and you've slowly been able to pick up the pieces. How did you end up like picking yourself back up and saying, I am worthy, I matter, I'm a beautiful human being. How did you come up to tell yourself that and be able to move forward despite that situation?
Yeah. So I swear a lot happened in that apartment when I was completely alone. My parents wanted me to, that lease was about to end in that month, and my parents wanted me
Oh,
to live with them until my new place was available. But I was like, no, I'm gonna finish. I need to be alone. I know that I can just go with my family and just allow them to nurture me, which I did. I allowed other people to care for me and love me, but I knew that I had to put myself in a place of solitude and being alone to allow everything to sink in. And in
right.
those in that alone time, I feel like is when so many things started to surface. And I it just was that realization that I poured so much of my energy into making a relationship work that I forgot to pour the energy into myself. And there was just this pivotal moment in that moment of silence that I said, all of that energy that I was using to pour to someone else, it is my time. It is my time to pour into myself because I'm worthy. I am worthy of being loved. I am worthy of being respected. I am worthy of someone respecting my emotions, someone being willing to understand and not just tell me that, oh, you need to work on yourself. Like it was just this realization that I am worthy of those things and I am going to do whatever it takes in order for me to move forward in my life. And that's when I started to just pray, and I was like, just God, give me the opportunities, the people, the experiences that I need in order for me to move forward. And I kid you not, literally 2 weeks later, this coach came into my life that was aligning spiritually with me, that was also just also guiding me into deeper inner work, doing the shadow work, and started to ask me questions that I was not asking myself in the past, and being able to go into the unconscious mind as to why was I acting upon these things because of things that happened in the past. Yes, but then I was like, I need to stop pointing the fingers that, oh, I'm this way because of my parents, whatever they did, because of hurts. It is my life, and I need to take accountability of my life, and I need to do whatever it takes in order for me to move forward. It just like a change that happened like that, and me being alone, that I said, I always heard it happens when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I just got to a point where I was like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't want to be here anymore.
It's funny that you mentioned accountability. It's something that a lot of people struggle with nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
especially this generation that's coming up, this generation of children and teens and even some adults. It's very difficult, and I've seen it firsthand working as a youth advocate, working with at-risk boys, in the school system and sometimes they'll get into serious trouble where they get suspended or get a referral or get a tardy, but you ask them about it and you're there to kind of show them support and solidarity in a way of, I'm not here to, call your mom or call your dad. I just want to know what's going on. And I want to teach you that it's okay to be hold things accountable. That's called being responsible. It's called being the bigger person.
Yeah.
And there's no shame in that. There's no
Mhm.
shame in holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, there's no shame, but it's just so much easier to be like, because of this happened. But it's like
Right.
this outside circumstances, but not me. But that's when I truly believe that that deeper change actually happens when we can say, okay, yes, this person did this, but what part did I have to do in it? And things are, I truly am a big advocate that things are happening for us and not to us. And throughout that whole thing, I'm like, okay, what can I learn out of this situation? Yes, I feel heartbroken, but there's a lesson, and I refuse to go through this experience without me taking accountability and reflecting on the situation and be like, moving forward, how can I show up differently in order for me to not attract similar things anymore?
Right. And it's you mentioned being by yourself and not wanting to do certain things anymore. Like I've had students that have hit their breaking point. They'll be like, Mr. David, I don't want to be getting involved in fights or gang activity or getting suspended anymore. What can I do? And I tell him is, and I ask him, what can you do? Have you thought of what you want to do in your life? Have you looked at yourself in the mirror and told yourself, I'm bigger than what people think about me? I've had students where they've built this reputation being at school, being the the one that's always getting in trouble, but the kids kind of gravitate towards because he's like the cool one.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they'll kind of break out of that cycle and they're like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. And I'm like, you don't have to. You
Yeah.
can break away. I get it's difficult at first, but that's why those people in your circle, the good people, the advocates, your good trusted friend, your counselor, they're there for you. They're there to support you. And sometimes you might feel alone, but in reality, you're not. You're not
Yeah.
alone.
Yes. Help, and people are always there. There's always people, as long as we know who to go to and the right people to go to that have those right intentions for us. And like you said, we tend to hold on to this identity that gets so hardwired in our brain that this is how I am, this is how I'm going to react. And then having the courage to change that and choose daily, because that old hardwire is going to try to come up, and like being the cool kid or those bad habits, and being able to be like, no, that's not me. And I like that you encourage them to look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, like, who am I? Because at the age of 26, I can honestly say it wasn't up until these last few months where my coaches started to tell me to write down, and I always heard it, but again, it's one thing, knowledge, but the next step is applied knowledge, what truly changes. And I actually sat down and I started asking myself the questions, well, what does my higher self look like? The woman that I crave to be in my soul, how would she be showing up? What are the decisions that she would be making? How would she be speaking? How would she be showing love to others? How would she be showing love to herself? And being able to sit down and, like, detail by detail write down all of those things, I can honestly say it's really helped bring it to the forefront of my mind when I am making decisions, when I am treating people a certain way, and I see that old identity of my sassiness wanting to come up. I'm like, no, the my highest self would not just because someone's not understanding me doesn't mean that I just get sassy because they can't understand me. How do I communicate it better? Obviously, I'm not doing my part in order for this person to understand. So it's so important to get clear with what we want, so we stop entertaining anything that isn't that. And for so long, I didn't get clear. I didn't get clear with what I wanted in my relationship, with what I wanted my personal life to look like. It was kind of like throwing things, hoping that they would stick. And then the moment that now I'm getting clear, I'm like, oh yeah, well, it makes sense that I was receiving these things that I didn't want in my life because I didn't know what I wanted in my life. I was just kind of going with life, but not being sitting down intentionally and being like, what life do I want, and how do I need to be showing up? What are the things that I need to be doing and holding myself accountable to in order for me to achieve the life, whether that be financially, but overall spiritually and health wise to me as well.
You know, speaking about being able to really find yourself and accept who you are, I experienced something similar. Like I have, you know, cerebral palsy, as you know, physically,
Mm-hmm.
and you see in the photos and everything. I struggle with it till from when I was a kid till when I was almost 25, and then uh something in my life happened that day of the graduation. I was you know, I had to overcome a lot in my life. You know, I lost my biological mom early in life, you know, when I was a kid. Struggled through the education system because nobody really believed in me. Nobody had faith in me besides my family and, you know, friends. Um, had to move to a whole different environment, which I had to move to Florida. And then here things got better. There was struggles here or there, but I made it through the education system, got my college degree. Um, the day that I graduated from UCF, I woke up in the morning, I looked in the mirror, it hadn't hit me yet. The realization of me graduating and getting my degree didn't hit me yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I my grandparents called, you know, they congratulated me. I get to the arena. My whole family from Puerto Rico came from Puerto Rico to see me graduate. And you know, the culture from Puerto Rico to Florida is different. So my grandparents, you know, they were all dressed up, and then you have my aunts and uncles. They're like in overalls and like wearing like the polo and like jeans. And I'm like, that is my family. Like nobody can say, that is pure Puerto Rico right there. And you know, I was like real proud and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, then we did the procession where you walk up to, you know, your seat, and then you know, they started calling the names, and then eventually got to me. And you know, I told myself, as long as I can hear my family up there, it's fine. And I remember going up, about to go up on stage, and they asked me, "Do you want to take the ramp or do you want to take the stairs?" And I said, "You know what? I couldn't I couldn't really read, write, or walk until the age of 8. I waited I waited nearly almost 17, 18 years for this moment. It was a week before Mother's Day, or the week of Mother's Day, the weekend, and I go up the stairs, and you could feel like I felt the ground shaking. Like, you know, I was going up the stairs, and they I handed the cane over. I got up on stage, and you know, the whole arena was silent. You could hear a pin drop. You know, that's how silent it was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I went and got the cane. I lifted the cane up, and that place erupted. I mean, I had to stop commencement for a good 5 minutes because it was one of those moments that, you know, I waited my whole life for, and that was never supposed to happen. I became the first in my family to do it. The one that was never supposed to actually got it done. And I went over to hug my mom, my step my stepmom when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I said thank you, and you know, I love you, and you know, I'm grateful for her and for my dad. And you know, it's one of those moments that I never forget. You know, that knowing that I woke up. I don't drive either, so I used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. The 4:30 in the morning, took a 2-hour bus ride to campus. Was there till 8 p.m. most days, and I took everything, I took everything out of me. I mean, I took, took my family, took my friends, took all the negativity I faced in life, and I just went through it, and I overcame the odds.
I love to hear that. Honestly, I'm so proud of you because like I remember in the episode that I was listening to of you, the odds that the doctors told your parents, when you were a baby, and being able to, like you said, move through all of those obstacles. And despite the outside noise, you are a living representation as to how powerful our mind is, and that we set our mind to something despite
Yes.
what any outside circumstance tells us. Like, how powerful we are, and that we can conquer what we want, the odds of the physical body, as long as we truly believe in. We're constantly with faith moving forward. So hearing your story is really inspiring to me. It's a reminder that there's nothing stopping me, it's all mental. And as long as we can conquer that mind, we can move forward.
Right. And
Thank you for
here,
sharing that.
you're welcome. And here I am 7 years later, doing the podcast. I'm a motivational speaker as well, and just enjoying life and being able to really uplift people.
Yes, yes. That's also why I really felt honored to be part of your podcast, because I hear the story, the odds that were put on you just by being born, essentially, and you overcame those. And not even that, you now are a voice to help the youth, which is amazing, because eventually those are going to be the man leading our society in the future, and being able to just spread light. And so I love it, and that's why it was an honor when I got to hear your story in the other podcast episode, and you asked me. I was like, heck yes, I am in. I want to speak to you. I want to share this moment with you.
Yeah, I'm definitely grateful that I was able to reach out, and we coordinated this, and I'm hoping that with your experience now that you're able to get out there more, and hopefully it'll this avenue of podcasting can open up a whole different avenue for you as far as getting your message out there.
Yes, yes, thank you. And that's, I've definitely been praying for new experiences. So when I've actually wanted to start a podcast. I've thought about it. So then you asking me, I was like, I'm opening myself up to this experience. The universe is giving me new experiences, and it is in my courage to say yes to something new, so that by doing that and taking action in that, I'm saying yes to other opportunities to come into my realm of realities, because I'm showing up and I'm saying I'm ready, and I'm ready to show up with excitement and to just play in life.
Well, what would you say to I guess anybody out there that's trying to find themselves or start their own journey?
I would say get really clear with the life you want, the person you want to be, and then be so radically honest with yourself as to what are the things, what are the behaviors that are stopping you right now from being there, from being that person. And have compassion for yourself, like a lot of compassion in this journey. The amount of times I sat down crying and just like hugging myself, and physically, like as if another person was hugging me. I even like would look in the mirror and hold my face and tell myself, I love you, you are worthy of being loved, and I am showing up for you. Saying everything that maybe if as a child you didn't get to experience certain things. Look in the mirror, provide that to yourself, provide those encouraging words to yourself. The amount of healing that brought to my heart, and being able to have the compassion and remind yourself, I'm here for you, and this is an ever evolving journey for the rest of your life. But have the courage to be honest and be like, what behaviors am I allowing in my life that are not allowing me to move forward? Because by you not being truthful to yourself, you're not really hurting anyone else. The person that you're hurting the most is yourself. The person that you're holding back the most is yourself. So get clear with what you want, be radically honest with what you're doing right now, and also seek out people that can help you, that can help see beyond the horizon that you maybe put on yourself. Get in a loving environment. I had to seek out there. It's not just gonna fall. I had to open myself out. I was like, okay, universe, I'm opening myself up to attract these people. But I know that to attract those people, I need to be showing up as that. I need to be showing up, willing to be there for people, willing to love on people. And by doing that, amazing people that I've connected so deeply in my heart have landed in my life. And I mean, people that I met really recently. And because you elevate your energy, you will attract that and put yourself in an environment that allows you to succeed. Because if, you know, the environment is kind of negative, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder. So put yourself in the opportunities around loving people that encourage you to move forward. And if you don't have that right now, be that encouraging light for yourself. Seek podcasts, you know, things, feed your mind. Just keep feeding your mind, keep feeding yourself, and remind. One of the things that I just keep, for some reason, it keeps coming to the forefront of my mind is just keep swimming, swimming,
Oh yeah,
swimming.
Dory, Finding Nemo.
Yeah. Yes, like the other day I was feeling a little bit disencouraged, and that just kept playing in my head. No, just keep swimming, swim, and fall in love with the sadness. I've came to realize, I feel like people look down upon it so much, but I've been able to get to a place where, in the midst of me feeling like I'm so sad and crying, I know that I'm not alone. I know that there's divine presence with me, and it feels beautiful because I genuinely believe that we are all souls having that human experience. And by embracing the downs, the lows, so much peace comes with that. And it's hard. I know it's hard to see it when you're there, but just remind yourself. I reminded myself, like, this is happening for me, and my soul signed up for this. And it just, I started to think the sad moments are very beautiful, very healing.
I mean, that's the way it should be. You should be able to embrace all aspects of yourself, you know, and you know, keep busy. What's the most important part is stay busy, because it helps you uh heal quicker versus you just staying in one spot all the time. So
Yeah.
great advice. I love it.
Yes, I like that you say that. Keep move and put yourself in different like places, because I realized I was just staying in my apartment for a while, and I'm like, okay, I need to get out to nature, get to a new energy fields, go to coffee shops and things like that, so that you just put yourself out in that a different energy than just entrapping yourself in the same one that maybe holds the same thoughts, the same low energy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely I do it a lot. So I really appreciate you giving out that advice for everybody.
Thank you. I really hope that that helps someone, and it maybe
Yeah,
gives them that little push they need for them to take accountability of their life, because ultimately that's my goal is, we
right.
can't change people. I'm not here to change no one. I'm just here to share the beautiful things that have been shared in my life that I've learned, in hopes that that inspires someone to take accountability and ownership of their life and do whatever they need to do to move forward and heal deeper.
Fantastic. I love that. You know, I could definitely keep that up. Don't change who you are. You know, you're like I always tell people, you're a gem in this world, and you know, and it's very special. So stay that way.
Thanks, David. You too. You
All
too.
right.
I you know you're out here inspiring others and being that conduit of a reminder of maybe people that are in the place that you were years ago, being able, like, man, if this person could do it, I can do it. And then that's what reminds me to push forward sometimes. I'm like, man, like, I know how it feels, and I know someone out there probably felt that same way, and a reminder to them, it's not a forever. We get to choose. We have choice.
And is there I guess a particular platform where people can kind of see your encouraging messages, or are you still working on that? Is that a work in progress?
Um, right now, I am actually distributing it throughout all platforms. I am on TikTok, on Facebook Reels, on Instagram Reels. I'm also on YouTube Shorts. I am in the near future planning to start making more long form content. So I used to make YouTube videos a long time ago, but they were more makeup videos when I was like 15 to 18. And I'm just gonna repurpose it all and use it as a way to share my message. So long-term videos are coming in the near future before the end of this year, my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was going through your content, you'd have the get ready with me segments where you'd get ready for the day, but you'd also have a message behind it. It's pretty cool.
Yes, yes, I'm gonna definitely start doing more of those where I'm doing the lives get ready with me and then also allowing these growthful conversations to come up.
And that's awesome. Whatever you can do to help spread that positivity, I'm hoping it works out for you.
Thank you. You as well. You as well. I know that you're going to keep moving forward, and I'm excited to see the journey you continue to go on and embark on, and all the people that are going to continue to be impacted by you just showing up and being yourself and showing up for yourself.
Well, thank you so much for being on, Laura. It was fantastic, and I had a wonderful conversation with you.
Thank you for having me, David. I truly appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me and making this happen.
You're welcome. And if you guys want to check out this episode, you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and every other major podcasting outlet out there. And until next time, you guys, thank you again, Laura.
Thank you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day.